Hey, welcome. Today, we're going to tackle one of our most powerful and honestly, most misunderstood emotions, anger. We're going to look at how to stop seeing it as this enemy we have to fight and start seeing it as a messenger, a really important one that's trying to tell you something.
So let me just start with this one idea. What if your anger is really just an alarm clock? Seriously, think about it. What if every time you felt that flash of heat, it wasn't some personal failing, but just an alarm going off, designed to wake you up and say, hey, pay attention, something in here needs you. And this right here is the core idea from Nonviolent Communication, or NVC. It totally reframes anger. It's not this random, destructive thing. It's a super precise signal telling you two things. One of your core human needs is not being met. And two, and this is the crucial part, the way you're thinking about the situation right now is probably not going to help you get that need met.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to walk through this whole framework. First, we'll look at why anger gets such a bad rap. Then, we'll figure out what really causes it. And I'm going to give you a super practical 4-step process to decode what it's trying to tell you. We'll even do a little practice together, and then see how all of this leads to taking action that actually works. Okay, first up, let's really dig into this idea of anger as a misunderstood alarm. I love this subtitle. It's not a flaw, it's a feature. It's part of your design for a reason. You know, it's so interesting because most of what we're taught is to just calm down, right? Shove the anger down, ignore it, pretend it's not there. But NVC does the complete opposite. It says, no, listen to it. Lean in, find out what's at the very heart of that anger, and then express that. It treats the emotion like valuable, important data.
And that leads us to this. Well, it's a total game changer of an idea. The critical difference between the trigger for your anger and the actual cause of it. And trust me, they are not the same thing at all.
Okay, check this out. The stimulus, that's the thing that happens out in the world. Somebody shows up late, that's a fact. But the cause of your anger, that's not their lateness. Oh no. The cause is the story you immediately tell yourself about it. It's that judgmental thought in your head, they're so disrespectful. That story, that judgment, that's what lights the fuse. And this is the central insight right from the founder of NVC, Dr. Marshall Rosenberg. Anger isn't something that happens to you from the outside. It's generated from the inside, by your own thinking, your thoughts of blame. This is huge, because it puts the power right back in your hands.
All right, so if our thoughts are what cause the anger, what do we do about it? You know, when we're seeing red? Well, this brings us to the tool, the practical part of NVC. And you can think of it like your own personal decoder ring for your anger.
And here it is, the whole process. It's actually pretty simple, but that doesn't always mean it's easy. It starts with a pause. Then you get aware of your thinking. Then you connect that thinking to what you really need. And then you can actually express yourself. So let's break each of these down. Step 1 is absolutely the most critical. You just stop. Seriously. Don't say a word, don't type a thing, just hit the pause button and take a breath. This isn't about ignoring the anger. It's about creating just enough space so that your primal brain doesn't completely take over the show. Okay, in that little bit of space you just created, you turn your attention inward. You become a detective of your own mind. What's the story going on in there? What are the judgments? You're listening for those "they should have" or "that's so unfair" thoughts. You're not judging your judgments, you're just noticing them. And this is the pivot. This is the magic move. You take those judgmental thoughts and you look behind them. You ask yourself the golden question. What is the core human need that I have right now that isn't being met? This is what turns blame into self-awareness. It changes everything. So, let's talk about these needs for a second. What are we even talking about? Because this is the language that your anger is speaking, and once you learn it, you can finally understand the message. And here's just a sample of what we mean. These are universal things. We all have them. The need for connection, for autonomy, freedom and choice, for things like integrity and fairness, for physical safety. When you feel angry, it's a guarantee that one or more of these fundamental needs is feeling threatened. Your anger is basically a passionate protest for one of these things. Here is a super simple but really profound little language hack you can try. The second you catch yourself thinking, "I'm angry because they did that," I want you to consciously stop and rephrase it in your head to, "I'm angry because I am needing something." You'll feel it. The whole energy of the situation just shifts from attacking them to understanding you. So the real key here is just to practice.
practice translating those judgments into needs. So let's actually walk through a quick exercise right now that you can use to build this mental muscle. It's a really simple two-step deal. First, you just pick a judgment you find yourself making a lot. You finish that sentence, "I don't like people who are," and then you ask yourself the follow-up question, "When I'm thinking that way, what is it that I'm needing?" Let's try it with an example.
All right, here's a classic. I think we've all been here. Let's say your judgment is, I just don't like people who are so inconsiderate. That's the label, right? That's the judgment, or pointing the finger at what's wrong with them.
Now we do step 2. We translate it. We ask, okay, when I'm labeling someone as inconsiderate, what is it that I'm needing in that moment? And boom, the answer comes up. It's not that they need to change, it's that I have a need for respect, or for mutuality, or just for simple consideration. See how that works? You just turned a harsh judgment into a really vulnerable universal need.
So this brings us to the whole point of this, the payoff. Why should you bother with all this? Well, because this is the most effective way to actually get your needs met.
I mean, this is really the bottom line, isn't it? When you judge someone, when you blame them, what do? They get defensive, they shut down, they argue back. But when you can honestly and vulnerably just say what you need, you invite empathy, you invite connection. It's just a much, much better strategy. So I want you to think about it like this. Anger is this incredible source of energy, right? This process doesn't get rid of that energy. It just redirects it. So instead of using all that power to try and punish someone, which pretty much never works, you channel it into the constructive mission of getting your own needs met. And so I'll leave you with that question to carry with you. The next time you feel that flicker of irritation or that full-on rage, instead of just reacting, I want you to get curious. Ask yourself this. Lean in, listen, and find out what incredible, important message your anger has for you. Thanks for watching.